OpenCode is the most popular AA programming tool in recent times. Its biggest advantage is that there is a free model out of the box. With simple configuration, you can also access top programming models such as Gemini 3 Pro Cloud 4.5 Oppos for free. OpenCode can be seen as an open source version of Cloud Code. Almost everything Cloud Code does. And it is user-friendly to China. You will encounter a series of troublesome things such as speed limiting and banning in Cloud Code. There are several mainstream models in OpenCode that can be used for free. It is very suitable for beginners to get started. AA programming can be created and played as you like. You can also use it to practice advanced features such as agent skills and subagent.
Here's a quick sponsor message. This AIAPI aggregation platform for domestic and international large models lets you access 500 plus AI model APIs at lower cost and with faster integration. Kling v3 is priced at $0.07, and the NanoBanana 2 costs $0.025 per call. Overall pricing is only 20% to 80% of the official rates, with token costs as low as RMB 0.05 per million. It also offers an online playground, so you can freely use text, image, and video models with unlimited concurrency. If a request fails, you'll be refunded. Just click the link in the video description to go directly there. If you want discounts or run into any issues, join our Discord community for prompt support, or add customer service and send the message 6 for one-on-one assistance. Alright, back to the video.
This video is a full tutorial of OpenCode. It mainly introduces the 4 forms of OpenCode, highlights compared to other AA programming tools. And we want to focus on OMI OpenCode, a super plugin, and a series of advanced uses and so on. OpenCode comes in 4 forms. They're the command line, desktop client plugin, and finally the cloud running environment. Let's look at the order first. Row. Here I will use the second method, which is Node.js to install. Let's first come to the homepage of the Node.js. Here, download the corresponding installation package according to your operating system. Install Node.js. Next, we copy the npm installation command. We open a terminal window and paste the installation command into it. Enter so that the installation is complete. Enter the command OpenCode and start it directly. Go to this page and say hello. In this way, the configuration is complete. It's very simple. Next, let's look at the installation of the client version on this page. Click Download Client and click Next all the way to complete the installation. Open and select a folder as the project folder. You can start using the OpenCode client directly. It is not a complete IDE, it only has basic dialog functions. And it is currently in beta. I still have a lot of bugs after trying it. Therefore, in this video, we mainly use the command navigation version as an example. Next, let's look at the installation of the plugin version, using the plugin version. The premise of OpenCode is that you need to install the command navigation version first. Here I take VS Code as an example. We open VS Code and search for OpenCode in extensions on the left. Then we find this plugin for OpenCode. Click Install after installation. We press the shortcut Ctrl+Shift+P to open the command. The panel hits this command, Open OpenCode, enter. This opens OpenCode in the form of a plugin. It can automatically associate code files opened in the left window. Then we can also select some code. Click the shortcut Ctrl-Alt and K to direct these codes. Quickly paste it into the OpenCode chat window. That's all plugins are all about. Finally, the cloud running environment. Let's go to the end of the video and watch it again. The best thing about OpenCode is that there are some free models built in. We enter the command after typing the command to come into the software. Models are marked with free are some models that can be used for free, especially GLM 4.7. And the following Minimax 2.1 programming ability is very good. 0 configuration out-of-the-box input requirements can be programmed directly. Great for beginners. Use them to practice AA programming. Next, I would like to recommend a plugin called OpenCode Anti-Gravity Auth Anti-Gravity is launched by Google, an AA programming IDE. It generously provides Gemini 3 Pro and also Cloud Oppos 4.5 is the top AA programming model. We can use this plugin. Connect these 2 top models to OpenCode for free. There's an installation method using its GitHub page. The simplest way is to copy this prompt. Then we come to OpenCode paste in to get started. This way, AIA can automatically help us install it here. Wait patiently. This completes the installation of the plugin. Next, we copy this command. Then we open a new command. Line window, execute this login command. The model vendor here chooses Google to choose this anti-gravity login method. Projected directly enters here. Log into your Google account here. Click Login. Then paste the generated URL into the command line. Enter and select and enter. So the configuration is complete. Let's reboot. Open Code Models. In the model selection, we can choose Gemini 93 Pro. And CloudOpos 4.5 says hello like this. Successfully gave the output. The configuration is complete. Next, let's put another useful programming. The Model GPT Codex is also integrated into OpenCode. Just a few days ago, OpenAI and OpenCode officially announced their cooperation. We can use ChatGPT Codex's programming package directly in OpenCode. First, we need to get it from ChatGPT's official website, a package that is at least plus or higher. In this video, we will introduce the subscription method in detail. Let's go to OpenCode and enter this command/connect. Press here, select OpenAI, select GPT Pro, open this link in your browser. Select continue and the login is complete. Then we go back to OpenCode and enter the command models. In this way, you can choose several models of ChatGPT. In addition to the above ways to access AI, enter the connect command to find 75 AI access methods. Almost all model suppliers are included. For example, we can find OpenRouter. Here we need to fill in an OpenRouter API key. We came to the official website of OpenRouter. Click Get API Key to create one. Copy this key, fill in the OpenCode, and enter an OpenRouter to connect to the market. Almost all types of large models and domestic users can also easily obtain quotas. It can be said that as long as we are connected to OpenRouter, you can use almost any large model. I found a classic test case that was commonly used before to test it. There are several highlights of OpenCode's performance here. First of all, before starting, he would ask me some questions in reverse. For example, just a code sample or a complete runnable program. What features must be implemented? Which Gemini model do you use? And then how are environment variables saved? Before you do it, he will ask for all the details of the requirements. This is very good. Then he listed a detailed development plan, which was done step by step. Each completed step is marked as complete. The second highlight is the code comparison interface of the command line version. I think it is the best of all command line programming tools. There are no errors in the entire programming process. There has also been no scenario that requires a code counterattack. The development of this requirement was completed in one go. The programming model I use here is GPT 5.2 Codex. I am subscribed to by logging into my ChatGPT Plus account. Integrate the Codex model. I think it is a good way to perform and use it in OpenCode. The native Codex CLI behaves almost consistently. OpenCode is used for various programming models at the bottom level. Many engineering optimizations are still very good. OpenCode highlights a concept called session. Every time we start a new conversation with AA, a brand new session can run in the background, and multiple sessions can run in parallel. For example, this is the game website we just generated. You draw me guess. Here I would like to add two features. First of all, I want to make the painting ratio adjust the color. For the second feature, I want to add a timer. If you draw for more than 20 seconds, the game fails. Let's enter the first requirement first. Add a timer. Timing is done at the first pen place. If it exceeds 20 seconds, the game fails. Start. During the execution of this task, we can enter the new command, create a new session, then start our second need. The second requirement is that the brush can adjust the color. We enter the command/sessions. You can see the session we set out. A spinning symbol in front indicates that he is running in the background. So we created two sessions. Let the two requirements be developed in parallel. You can also switch between two sessions. See their execution status. Okay, that's it. We can adjust the brush color. Then when we started painting, a countdown also appeared in the upper right corner. We successfully used the session function to complete the development of two requirements in parallel. Enter the share command. You can share the conversation transcript of this session into a web page. The address of the web page has been copied into the pasteboard. We can paste the address into the browser. See the conversation record with AA in this session, including how it modifies the file. With this historical record, we can easily program our programming. The process is shared with other users. Enter the command onShare to unshare. The previous link is no longer available. Enter the command export to export the conversation transcript as a file. I had two more conversations just now and asked him to change the brush to red by default. Then remove this prompt. OpenCode also has a highlight feature. It is its timeline or checkpoint. We enter the command/timeline enter is OK. See the conversation record with AI in this session. We can choose any conversation record. Select this revert feature. Revert the code and chat to the state before the conversation. We can go back to this point in time and revise it again. In a previous video, we covered the basic concepts of agent skills and its directory structure. We can understand skill as a manual with a table of contents. Each folder corresponds to a skill, that is, a skill pack. Migrating a skill from Cloud Code to OpenCode is very simple. We only need to replace the .cloud in the directory with OpenCode will do. In a previous video, we created a total of 3 skills folders. Migrating these 3 skills to OpenCode is also very simple. We come to the OpenCode project folder, create a new file called OpenCodes folder, create a new skills folder after coming in. Then you can copy these 3 skills directly. So our project has those 3 skills. We right-click to open it in the middle and enter OpenCode to start it. I asked him, what are you? Skills? The full answer is given here. When we need it, he will call those skills to work. Next, let's take a look at the configuration method of MCP. There are 2 types in OpenCode. MCP, we can find a local way in the documentation. That is, it is executed through local commands. There is also a remote way, which is remote calling. Let's use this shedkin as an example to configure it. Let's first go to the OpenCode configuration folder, user your username, config, and then OpenCode finds this configuration, file OpenCode. JSON came to Windows Station and copied this paragraph of MCP. Paste it over. I'll remove these extra commas first. Fill in the MCP's name here. Here, I call it a shedkin type, which is local. Then fill in the command npx here. Shedcn copied this paragraph later. Finally, there's an MCP here. Let's put a comma. Adding enable means starting. There is no link area below, so that a local MCP is configured. Next, let's look at a case of remote calling. Let's take this context 7 server as an example. Let's go back to the OpenCode documentation to find this case for remote calling below. Copy this paragraph, put a comma, paste it into the configuration file. Here the type is remote call URL. Let's copy the URL of context 7 and paste it over. In the header, let's fill in the string of context 7 and paste it over. Here he needs an API. We can go to the official website of the context period to create an API and copy this key. Fill in the configuration file. Change the name of this MCP to context 7. Let's restart the OpenCode input command /MCP. You can see the 2 MCPs we just configured. This means that there are 2 MCP configuration methods for local and remote calls. OpenCode is one of the hottest programming plugins on OpenCode. It's essentially a series of tools, a combination bundle of MCP and programming agent. For example, in terms of tools, it integrates LSB Premium. It can be used through the syntax and semantics of programming languages. Helps AAs quickly understand and locate code, ASD tools. Correlation searches can be done by the syntax of the code. Locase tools, with the visual capabilities of multimodal large models. Helps understand images, PDFs, and other information. There are also things like delegate task background task. These agent task assignment and background scheduling tool plugins. There are also 3 built-in server web search for web search, and context 7 is 4. Get the latest documentation grip app is used to quickly search for code in the GitHub repository. The plugin also has 7 built-in programming. The agents are Sisyphus. It is used by the main agent to plan and schedule tasks, and the Prophet is used to do the architecture, design, code, review, and more. It is used by librarians to consult documents. Explorers use it to conduct web searches. There are also front-end engineers, document writers, and multimodal and other plugins. Each agent is assigned a large model that best suits its work. For example, front-end engineers use the most front-end capabilities. The Gemini 3 Pro Model Master Agent uses CloudOpos 4.5. It is said that this is the token that the author spent $24,000. Find the right AA programming team. Okay, let's install this plugin on his GitHub homepage. Here is a prompt that is the paragraph at the beginning of the in-store. We replicated it in its entirety. Let's go back to OpenCode and paste this prompt. When I started the installation, the plugin asked me a few questions. He first asked me if I had a cloud subscription, which I didn't have. I have a GBT Plus subscription to use GBT to replace the cloud model. Then asked me if I had a GPT subscription here. I chose Yes Gemini subscription. There is a final option to confirm that the plugin has been successfully installed after a while. After the installation is completed, we come to the C drive user, your username, config, and then OpenCode folder is here. Inside is a configuration file for OpenCode. The model used by the 7 agents of OpenCode is defined here. We can adjust it according to our own needs. Here I changed the Heathifus model to GBT 5.2. The remaining models are all recommended configurations by the author. Then we restart OpenCode, and when we come in, seeing the default agent it displays. There are several main uses of this plugin for HeathIFUs. First, we can tap Add. Then choose an agent and give us a job. Another way to use it is to type in this magic word. Ulu. That is after the magic word is entered by UltraWork. If you don't buy OpenCode, you'll call out all its potential as much as possible. Assign tasks to several agents and run in parallel. This main agent, Sisyphus, is the center of scheduling. Here he asked me what kind of web page I wanted. Let's roughly fill in the requirements. Then we see him split the task into a to-do list. Then 3 background tasks are opened at the same time to execute in parallel. It then schedules these background tasks like crazy. We waited patiently. After a few minutes, the UltraWork mode runs. Let's start it up and see the effect. An app for pet store. It looks really good. The interface looks fresh. It is without image material. I also tried my best to use emojis to give us some pictures. The interaction throughout the site, as well as the animation logic, looks good. If you have a subscription to several top models like Cloud, you might as well try the comprehensive scheduling that this plugin can do. The most powerful models in various fields do a great job of programming. OpenCode also has an important gameplay. That's what we enter this command /. Rough is the Ralph loop. Patterns can force AA to cycle for a long time. Continuous work on a very difficult task. For example, I can ask it to refactor the entire project using the latest standard of Springboard 4, and then until all the tests are passed. It can run on a loop for several hours until the final task is completed. Just now we introduced the command line desktop board, as well as the running environment such as plugins. Next, let's look at the cloud running environment. Here I will take GitHub as an example. Its main function is, when we type OpenCode on GitHub, you can work in the GitHub cloud. For example, it can explain the problem for us and automatically fix the problem, and create PR and so on. Here's a way to install it. Let's try it. The first step is to upload the project to GitHub. Here is still the application of the pet store, just now. Click here for source control publish branch. Here, I choose public. Turn this project into a public repository on GitHub. Click on Open on GitHub in the bottom right corner. So our code was successfully uploaded. Next we come to the code folder. Copy this installation command, paste it over, and click Install. To choose a model provider, you can only use AIAPI key. For example, here, I choose Google, choose a model. Then there are 2 more steps to operate. First, submit the project file to GitHub. He was ready. Let's submit this configuration file first. Next, he needs to fill in these 2 environment variables into the project. We came to the project for the project. Then find the secret SAN variables below. Here are the repository secrets. We copy the name of the first key and paste it. The corresponding key can be found in Google's AS Studio. Create a 1 like this to fill it out and save it. Then the second key is copied, or fill in the same key. In this way, 2 keys are filled in. For example, a user may mention a bug in medical skills. It is said that the top navigation bar, Find a Pad, and the Adopt Now function are duplicated. Removing this Find a Pad is a duplicate of these 2 functions. In the project, you can directly /OpenCode to call OpenCode. Function. Let OpenCode fix this bug. We submit this review. Then we come to the project's actions. Seeing that there is an action here, it is being executed. This is the workflow of OpenCode. It is now running in the cloud on GitHub. Help us fix this. The task is completed. We can see a code merge when we come to pull request. The request is in file changes here. You can see that it went successfully to the code. Modification. We just need to click on this implied button. I merged this change of OpenCode into our code repository. In this way, the number is successfully completed and closed. Let's take a look at some of the other important features of OpenCode. These features were actually available in Cloud Code before. Codex has been introduced in the video. Let's go through it quickly. First, the first command is to oblique the command innate. Allows AA to read through the entire project folder. Then use what you learn about the entire project to generate an agent. MD file. This file serves as the system prompt for the entire project. It can help AA quickly understand the project. Next, an important order. Compact is used to compress the context of the previous conversation, distilling the previous conversation into a concise summary to free up the model's context window. In addition to these built-in /commands, we can also create our own commands. We come to the configuration folder of OpenCode. In this, you can create a new command folder. Here you can define custom commands in the form of markdown files. For example, here I create a custom command called run test. I copied this sample on the official website. Paste in. We can specify that it is a command under build or plan mode. Write clearly what this command is used for in the description below. Configure custom commands. We can / in OpenCode. Then there is the name of the order. This allows us to run our custom commands. The next feature allows for customization of agents. OpenCode presets two types of agents, plan and build. We can also create new ones. We come to the configuration folder of OpenCode. You can create a new agent folder here. For example, here I want to create a new code review agent. Let me create a new markdown file. Fill in the agent's file with the description type. Is it a master agent or subagent? Subagent means that it can be scheduled by the main agent to execute in the background. Then fill in a model, followed by its description. It is what this agent mainly does. Once the definition is made, if AI may need to review code in the future, it will automatically call this subagent. And running in the background helps us automate the work. In addition to defining an agent as a subagent, it can also be defined as primary. That is, after the main agent is defined as the main agent, we can press the tab button to switch to this agent directly. Subagent can only be automatically scheduled and executed by AA in the background. Okay, that's all for this video. Thank you for your likes and support us. See you next time.